If you're looking for a quick and easy way to automate translation of basically unlimited content, you're in the right place. So I've just added a new folder to my GitHub. If you have no idea what you're doing in terms of Python and Visual Studio Code, then please watch this video first where I go through absolutely everything you need to know. But provided you do know all that already, first of all, copy this URL and then let's head over to Visual Studio Code, terminal, new terminal, and then we'll do git clone, and then we'll call this translation. Now, this will come with the rest of the autoblogger. If you want to play with the autoblogger, please feel free. It's very, very powerful. But this is specifically for translation. So I have a client who needed over 1 million words translated, and I managed to do that in under 24 hours. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it in this video. So in this case, we're just going to delete everything else except the translation because, I mean, I don't need it. So I'm just going to delete it. So we'll move this to recycling bin, and also the service page, we'll delete this as well. By the way, if you do get my GitHub, please star it and everything like that. I'm trying to get trending on GitHub because I think that'll be interesting. Now, we have an example right here. It's just a very, very simple example. It just says type your product content here, etc. But the important thing isn't really the CSV file. It's just how to set it up. So you can see there's a lot of titles at the top here. We don't really want that, because this is too many titles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sheets.new, and I'm going to import this CSV, and I'll show you why in a second. So go to import, upload, and then you can right click and reveal in File Explorer, and then drag, and then Alt-Tab, and then drag it here. And then import this, and then we'll have to, oh no, there we go. Okay, so we don't really need all of these columns because, I mean, you're not going to translate the date, for example, are you? Or you're not going to translate post name, which is the slug. I wouldn't really translate that. Author, you're not going to translate. Basically, everything after column D, you're not really going to translate. Okay, so make sure that you're only translating things that you're actually going to be translating. So it doesn't make sense to just go crazy and just translate everything, right? So the three that we're going to keep are post title, post content, post excerpt. Now you can go up to unlimited. You can literally do, 1,000 columns if you really want to. Okay, so I'm just doing this for simplicity's sake. So what I want you to do is give this a name. So we'll call this translation, and then file, download as CSV. Now I'm going to leave the unclean data just because I think people should practice. So now drag the cleaned data into here. So now we need these three column titles. So I'll triple click here and then Control C for control copy. And then we'll hop over to translation.py. I'm going to press enter twice and I'm going to paste that here. So you need to put these into the prompts. So post title, post content, post excerpt. Okay, so let's say we have a different one that's like content, and then we have, I don't know, meta title. All you have to do is make this here match with the CSV, okay? And also make sure the CSV is inside the translation folder, which it's not right now. Okay, so it's that simple. All you have to do is put the column name inside the prompt, and you can copy this, for example, if you have more, and you can press enter, and you can paste, and then you can change this to, I don't know, meta description. Just make sure it exactly matches. If there's a hyphen, put a hyphen. If there's an underscore, put an underscore. If there's a capital letter here and no capital letter here, make sure you're doing that too. And then you can literally go on and on and on. Right now, I have this running with an 11 column CSV with 2,500 lines of products. And it's next to me on another laptop translating while I'm making this video. It's so important to be able to automate things, because if I had to do this manually, I did do this manually, okay? Originally, I did this task using Excel and something called GPT for Sheets. But two things. Number one, GPT for Sheets has decided to go for a paid model, which, fair play to them, obviously. There's nothing wrong with a paid model. It's just, obviously, I don't want to pay for it, so I'm not going to. But also, the other thing is, if the CSV isn't simple, okay, so let's say you have sizes in like a weird way. So the one that I'm working on right now, it has like rows like this where it's just sizes 1, 2, and 3. but then all of the other information is exactly the same. So with GPT for Sheets, when you drag down, it's going to just automatically translate everything, including the sizes, which you just don't need. It's just a waste of tokens. But with this method, you can delete the rows and columns and everything that you don't need, and then put it into the script, and it will just automate everything. So the way it works is it literally just adds 3 columns. So it's 3, and I'll show you why it's 3 in a second. But first of all, just make sure you've got all of these correct, okay? So let's just put these all correct. So it was correct at the beginning, but I ruined it. So I need these again. Let's just quickly go back here. So we need post title, post underscore title, post content, post underscore content, and then post excerpt. Now, I wouldn't necessarily change a lot of these prompts, okay? Because they're specifically written to give you very, very high level content. Good translated content. Obviously, translation with GPT, trust me, it's a bit of a nightmare. I spent 30 hours on this before using Google Sheets, and the end result was terrible. So I'm hoping this time it's going to be a little bit better. If there's anything like that you need to put in a system prompt, for example, the company that I'm doing this for, they can't use a certain word to describe their products, so they have to use a different word. But ChatGPT will continuously try and use that word because it's better for SEO, but it's legally you're not allowed to say that word. Let's just say fire resistant. It's not fire resistant. That's not what we're talking about. But just as an example, let's say it's fire. It's not fire resistant, but it's not flammable, right? So you would have to say not flammable, but ChatGPT will say fire resistant sometimes. So what you need to say here in the system prompt is do not write fire resistant, write inflammable or not flammable or whatever, okay? That's in the system prompt. And then these prompts are just the, so another one is like if there's URL here, you wouldn't translate the brand name. So you would just put that in the prompt. You would say, just write out the website and then / collections, don't ever translate collections, and then translate whatever it is at the end as well. So this is where you change what you're translating and how you're translating it. And then further down here are the languages. So if I change this to Swedish, what it's going to do is there's no internal Python logic except the fact that it puts this here, target language. So the target language is equal to, where is it? It is equal to the language. So we are putting the target language inside the prompt. So it's actually really, really clever how this works. Shout out to Warlax from Article Fiesta. Check out Article Fiesta, guys, if you want. He helped me again with this, so thanks for that. He gave me like the bare bones of this, and then I made it work, basically. So let's see this in action. We've changed it to Swedish. You can add languages. You can take away languages. Now, I actually don't know if you would have to change something if there was another language. So let's actually try that. So we'll put German here. I'm very, very curious to see whether this will work or whether we actually have to change the script. If we do have to change the script, then I would recommend just doing 3, or if you're comfortable with changing the script, just ask ChatGPT to change the script for us. Let's get a new secret key here. I will be deleting this at the end of the video, so delete me, please, and create. No point using this, guys. It will be deleted. Now, I don't know if this is going to work with 4 languages. Okay, I will warn you right now. So we'll put the secret key there, and then we'll go terminal, new terminal, and we'll do Python translation.py. Now, cd translation. Now, I'm not really expecting this to work just because I don't know if it's supposed to handle 4 languages. Ah, yes. Okay, so I did this specifically on there's 2 things I need to change. I did this specifically on my computer instead of my laptop because I'm using the latest version of OpenAI here. So what we have to do is we have to do pip. This is if you've been following my ChatGPT Assistant Autoblogger stuff, okay? You need to first of all either A, use a Python virtual environment, or B, if you're a noob like me and you don't understand the virtual environments after all this time, what you can do instead is pip install OpenAI equals 0.28. This will install an older version of OpenAI. Now, what is interesting, I don't know if this has worked. I don't know. We'll see in a second if this has worked. But what is interesting is I actually prefer ChatGPT, the older version, chat completion, for tasks like this, like automating simple SEO tasks, translation, or guest posts as well, like big CSV files. I actually really like to do it inside the older version of ChatGPT, so not the Assistant API. This is just using this old version that most people know already, model equals blah, blah, blah. Now, the second thing we need to change, which I completely forgot to change, is we need to change this CSV file. So it's this CSV file here. We'll copy the relative path, and we'll put the relative path here. And then I think we can delete this and this, I think. So I'll just delete that. And then save. And then now when we run this should work, except I still don't know if it's going to work with the 4 languages. Oops, I just ran pip install. Okay, Python translation.py. Let's see if this works now. So this is translating into Swedish and French and... Okay, French is good. Into Dutch. Is it going to do German? Okay, so we can add unlimited languages. All you have to do is change the prompts. This thing can translate millions and millions and millions of words for you, okay? So obviously it says type your product content here, so it hasn't managed to translate this, obviously, but that's okay. That's pretty normal. And then finally, it should just output here. Okay, so we can see that's been outputted to translated_content modified at 2014. So now if we come back to this CSV, do file, import, upload, and then drag translated content like that, and then import it, and then open it. Now what I like to do is I like to click on the top left here, and then just drag it a little bit, and then Control A, and then format, wrapping, wrap. And then we can see it's basically translated everything. Now, obviously, there's a lot of problems here because this is just an example. But what we can see is there is, for each one, there is post title Swedish, French, Dutch, and German. So what you can do is, I haven't fixed this part yet. This part is still manual, okay? You can click on the 4 languages like that and drag it over, if you need to anyway. You don't have to do it like this. It's just the client wanted it in a specific order, so I had to drag and drop it like that. So that's it, guys. This is a free translator. It's very, very powerful. And to make this video, I accidentally deleted the API key that has been running for 6 hours on the same script, and I've just lost 6 hours of work. But that's okay. If you're watching until this point, you're an absolute legend. And yeah, I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Peace out.